866-775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Dalip Jaggi, Revive is in the house. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Pleasure to be back.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Let's see. Today is, we got to check this one out. Global Kinetic Sand Day. Can I just go to the beach? I don't know if the sand at the beach is globally kinetic or not, but I'll just go down to the beach and that'll be sufficient for me. National Sons and Daughters Day. Okay, we can deal with that one. I've got sons, no daughters. Couldn't afford them. National Presidential Joke Day. The only thing I could do with Presidential Joke Day is get myself in serious trouble today. So I think we might want to refrain from any kind of presidential jokes. It could cause me trouble. So, although you know something, I have been known to get into trouble.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, exactly. So let's look at this one. Having beaten anorexia, now this one looks pretty good. I must admit, today is National Raspberry Bombay Day. Frozen dessert, raspberry Bombay creates a beautiful finale to any summer meal. Could I just start with that? I mean, I don't want to ruin my desires here, my appetite. So we just start with it. Nice. I shouldn't sit here and focus on that. Notice I've kind of got tongue-tied even just looking at that. Let's look at the markets. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 175 points. S&P 500 up 3.91. NASDAQ up 60.11. Oil is up or down 61 cents a barrel. We're watching all of these things for you. There's a lot going on in the world, in the marketplace, and you watch some of these different numbers. Well, a lot of it has to do with spending, right? The federal government yesterday decides they want to spend $1 trillion. No sooner do they finish agreeing in the Senate to a $1 trillion spending bill. Now, don't say investment. No, I mean, I hear them talk about investing in infrastructure. Now, I don't know about you. When I invest, I expect some money coming back, right? So if I go and build a road, what kind of money is coming back on that? Nothing. If I go and build a bridge, what kind of money am I going to get back on that? Nothing. It's not an investment. It's an expense. Think about that. It's just ludicrous when they come up and call this an investment in our infrastructure. No, it's an expense in our infrastructure. Now, we may need it. That's a different subject. It's all expense. How do you offset expense? Yes, it's called tax. And is it going to only be on the rich? No, that's a soundbite. Just like Cuomo's sound bites all along saying that he didn't do it, right? I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know, but he resigned from office, and the attorney general in New York says he did it. So I don't know if he did it or didn't do it. That's not my world. But a tax on the rich. Really, it's a soundbite. See, when they start saying that they're going to tax mileage, page 508 of the bill, well, is it only the rich that drive? I know that I put on a pretty good amount of miles on my car. My wife puts a good amount of miles on her car. Everybody I know right here in Southern California puts mileage on their car. So whether you're making $1 an hour, maybe if you're unemployed, well, maybe if you're not unemployed, I guess you're not going to have to pay the tax. I don't know how they're going to collect that tax, but it's a new tax on everybody in America. Think about that. Not just those people that make $400,000 a year or more. So that's the first part. Then they finish spending $1.2 trillion, and they decide, let's work on the next one. It's $3.5 trillion, which might be $4 trillion or $5 trillion. Who's going to pay all this? Yeah, it's your kids, your grandkids. So if you like these expenses, think about this one. I mean, I'm not sure I could do this, right? So, maybe I want to go get a new car. And I'm going to say, something, I'm going to get this new car. That's an expense. That's not an investment. No matter what the dealer says to you, you're not investing in a new car, just like you're not investing in infrastructure. And I want my kids to pay for it or my grandkids to pay for it. How well do you think that's going to go over? Well, that's what the federal government is saying when they're saying a infrastructure bill. Not going to be paid for by the rich. It's going to be paid for by your kids, your grandkids, maybe you a little bit of it, right? So think about that concept when you're listening to what they're talking about spending money. Oh, wait. They just went through this $3.5 trillion bill and they passed the framework, whatever they want to call that, framework at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now think about this concept. It just baffles me. Is there anybody in the United States Senate that's under 150 years old? Right? They're all old people. And then they tell them they've got to work all through the night. Now, there's one young guy, I guess Ted Cruz isn't as old as some of the others. And there might, Dianne Feinstein, she was old when I was born, right? And she's been a senator as long as, or in the government, I think as long as I've been alive. And I'm old. But here's the issue, right? They make them work all night. It's kind of like torture. Right? So you're not going to get to leave. You can't go home. You can't go to sleep until we pass this bill. Well, eventually they just say, something, I don't care what's in it. I'm going to pass it anyway. That's just the way it works right now. Watch Washington. Watch the times that they say they pass these bills. Now, here's an interesting one. I just saw this morning. If you are a renter in California, this affects you. If you own a home in California or a rental property in California, this affects you. So we've been watching and listening to the government with this moratorium on evictions. So they basically say you don't have to pay your rent if you don't want to pay your rent, and there's nothing the landlords can do about it. And they started it off with being part of a bill that expired, right? So the bill that went through Congress and the president signed under the Trump administration went through and set this up where they had a moratorium on evictions during the early stages of the pandemic. But they've continued to extend it over and over and over again. And now there's starting to be people say, well, why should I pay my rent? Why should I pay my student loan debt? Why should I pay any of these things? The government's going to just let us off on it. Well, now there's a law professor, University of California. I don't know why they didn't say which campus, but University of California. Usually when they say University of California, they're talking Berkeley. And usually when they talk Berkeley, it's about as far left as you can go, right? Ultra liberal, socialist. Maybe they're communists up there. I don't know, right? But here's the issue. This professor said this total thing is unconstitutional. More than the professor saying it's unconstitutional, there have been 5 United States Supreme Court justices have said it's unconstitutional. Now, if you know anything about government, and I know they're not teaching a lot of this in schools right now, there are still 9 United States Supreme Court justices. When 5 of them agree on something, it's going to pass, or it's going to carry, I guess is the best term. So the issue is, but the president, he says, well, I don't care what the Supreme Court says. He's doing it anyway. So this professor, law professor, University of California said, something, if I was a landlord in the state of California right now, and I had somebody not paying their rent, I'd file the eviction notice. and let the courts take a look at it and see if the courts overturn it and see if it ends up going right to the Supreme Court and see what the Supreme Court has to say about it. That's a fascinating concept, especially coming out of California, right? So think about that. If you're a renter in California not paying your rent, if you're a landlord in California and somebody's not paying you, this might be coming to an end real soon. And just a word, that's something you might want to be thinking about if you are the landlord. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to learn how to finance home renovations when you're thinking about selling. Are houses less affordable than they were in past decades? And oh, yes, we've got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Building your future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com. Are you a military veteran, first responder, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, then you're a Ron Siegel VIP hero, and you may qualify for rewards up to $5,000 to $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with a Ron Siegel Radio partner. As a valued VIP hero, you receive special savings, rebates, and valuable discounts. Learn more by calling me, Ron Siegel, at 1-800-306-1990 or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. It's just our way of saying thank you.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that new home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Now let's take a look at it. The Dow Jones now up 179 points. S&P 500 up 2.53. NASDAQ down 72 points right now. The 10-year, whoops, I just lost my screen here, so I better get back to where I need to go. So the 10-year Treasury, it is up 1 basis point. The mortgage-backed securities, this is the biggie. Mortgage-backed securities are up 16 basis points after they had a bond rollover yesterday. I know that sounds technical, but the bottom line on that is interest rates are down today. They've been up a lot during the week. So interest rates down today. And all that information is easily found on that super secret website, google.com. Right? So the thing that you're not going to find on google.com is why. Right? So we got the Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for the week ending August 6th, showing that overall application volume increased by 2.8%. Applications to purchase a home were up 1.8%. Refinances increased by 3.2%. Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation on the consumer level, reported at 0.5%, which was in line with expectations, remained flat at 5% year over year, just below the 5.5% estimate. Core CPI rate, which strips out food and energy prices, increased by 0.3% for July, which was below expectations of 0.4%, and decreased by 0.2% to 4.3% year over year, matching the estimate. That's fake news. I'm just going to tell you that's what the report says. Why is it fake news? Well, they're using a bad number, right? So they're using a number of saying that the rents are only up, I think they said like 1% or 2%. So here's the issue. Rents rose 0.2% in July and 1.9% on a year-over-year basis. Okay, so why is that fake? Well, this just happens to be from one source, right? And it's the federal government. Now, when we look at all these other sources that are telling us what's going on, right? Invitation Homes told us up 14% just a couple days ago. They own 80,000 homes, right? They rent 80,000 single-family homes across America, and they're reporting rents up 14%. Others are saying 10, 12%. So let's just use round numbers here. Let's say that rents are up 12% legitimately, and the federal government is saying 1.9%. Call that 2%, do you mind? Right? So now we've got a 10% swing, and rent accounts for 25% of CPI, of the core CPI. 25% of 10%, that's 2.5%, added on top of what they're already telling us of 5.4%. Yeah, that means that we're closer to 7.9% is the real inflation number, the consumer price index. Just throw that out there for you. Nowhere else are you going to hear that but on Ron Siegel Radio. Chicago Fed President voting member Charlie Evans said last night that he thinks the Fed will make a decision on tapering at their December meeting, with tapering beginning in early 2020. He cited that he wants to see more employment reports, that does not think they will reach substantial progress later this year. That's just his opinion, but he is a voting member. And if you want more information on any of these, we got a new book. We're going to give that book out to you. Anybody that wants it, all you got to do is text RSR Credit Book to 79564, RSR Credit Book 79564, or visit rsrcreditbook.com. 7 steps to a 700 credit score. If you don't have a credit score of 700 or more, you might want to get it. And hey, it's a gift from Ron Siegel Radio. We don't charge you for gifts. Again, RSR Credit Book to 79564. No spaces, RSR Credit Book. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. So let's chat. So one of the things we've got a Dalip Jaggi with us. Revive, welcome.
Woo! Thank you.
He is back. Now, I'm going to try something here with you, Dalip. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're going to give it a shot, see if this means anything at all to you.
I'm at a loss for words.
We got a blank stare. Okay, welcome.
Oh, welcome back. Right there.
Welcome back, Cotter. Okay, he's too young to know it. Also, Josh, we got to find something that some others will understand. Okay, I'm dating myself with the intros here. Revive. Tell us a little bit about Revive. It's not a a religious event organization?
No, not at all. It is real estate centric.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Revive. Well, in short, what we are is we're a creative real estate finance company. As you know, we believe that innovation is really needed for the homeowner. So we're a group that sort of comes up with creative real estate solutions to help homeowners really accomplish one thing, not leaving money on the table. And we hope while doing so, they can maintain a degree of flexibility and convenience. We're not realtors, we're not lenders. We're kind of the guys that come up with these creative solutions so they can take advantage of it and leverage it when they're selling a home or trying to maybe transition into a new home.
So when you say creative solutions, we back in I don't know if you remember this one either because I'm dating myself again. Right? 2005, 2006, 2007, we had creative lending.
Okay.
And creative lending did not turn out so well.
Okay.
But you've got a whole different approach.
Yeah, it's not lending. I mean, we're really basing off the equity. So that's how we're able to like front these monies. But it's more than
what are you fronting money for?
Well, in one of the programs, it's really about renovations. So but I mean, Ron, there's been kind of a thing like it's a lot of people focus on like the money being the most valuable thing, but it's really it's much more than money in our program. So when you're thinking about doing renovations, like to maximize the sale of your home, you kind of break it down to like, what does a flipper have? And there's a couple of ingredients that makes a flipper successful. And so we've kind of worked hard in our approach to almost like replicate those different ingredients so homeowners across the nation can do the exact same thing, but for their own benefit.
Oh, I like that. So when you talk about flippers, they're the guys that, for those that are new to real estate, we did just see that FHA loans have increased recently, the number of FHA loans. What does that tell us? FHA loans are generally the place where new people get into the market, right? So first-time home buyers frequently are using that FHA loan for a lot of things. Now, if I'm the seller of that property, if I'm selling a home, I'm going to do one of two things, or one of a few things, right? I'm going to buy something else. Mm-hmm. It's going to either be bigger or smaller by definition.
Yep.
May or may not be in the same community.
Yep.
But I want to maximize the property I'm departing.
Right.
Right. I haven't heard anybody say, something, Ron, can you help me find a realtor who can get me the least possible price for my house?
Actually, there was a study that came out from Inman saying homeowners, when selling a home, not to say they would do it, but on the preface, 60% of them said that they would take a 10% dip in the sale of their home so they don't have to deal with the selling process. Kind of like making a point of these iBuyers and what they're all about. So I found that interesting that 60% of homeowners said, hey, convenience is worth 10% of the value of my home.
Wow. That's just staggering, right? When you think about that in Orange County, California, and Los Angeles County, California, Riverside median home price is about $425,000. So that's $40,000.
Yeah.
Right. In Orange County, median home price $836,000. You're talking over $80,000.
Yeah.
For convenience.
Yeah. And I think it was pulled across the nation, but yeah, generally speaking,
median home price in the United States is $350,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're saying $35,000 for convenience.
Yeah. And I faced this actually personally. My father and my mom, my parents, they're kind of downsizing. Well, they were going to downsize, but I guess they upsized. Shout out to my parents. But when they were selling their home, they're just like one of their realtors promoted like an iBuyer. And my dad's like, maybe I just do this and don't deal with the whole thing. And I'm like, Dad, this is your home. You immigrated to US. You bought a home. You built out equity. This is the dream, man. Right. What are you doing? So I saw it kind of like firsthand, he's older, doesn't want to deal with the patients and all that stuff.
Well, if you don't want to deal with it, you need our Team 53.
There you go.
Right. So our Team 53 program, and I'm not I have a real estate license. I don't use it. I've got the sales license. Don't use it. But our Team 53 basically will find you the highest possible price and you have to have your house available for about 12 hours. That's it. And you get the highest possible price the market will bear. 12 hours.
Yeah.
Right. It's 3 weekends, a couple hours each weekend. And then you do a non-distressed luxury auction at the end of the time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right. And so you get the highest price. And you get to save that you get to put that $80,000 in your pocket. But we're digressing.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. So in your program, basically you're going to say, okay, well, the flipper might come in and offer 20% less.
Yep.
And do a lot of work with anticipation that they're going to get 20% more on the return side.
Right.
And you guys help finance that?
So we finance it, but we give the homeowner, we give the power back to the homeowner, saying, hey, here's some freedom and confidence that you could do exactly the same. So if I could take a minute, I'll tell you a little bit about how we broke down the flipper.
Sure.
So when you think about a flipper and what makes them successful, so if you were a flipper, you'd be like doing like maybe 5, 10, 15 properties in a year. You have something called leverage with contractors. So using the same contractors over and over again.
Wait, 5 to 10 properties in a year.
Let's just say
what a flipper might be doing. We don't know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they've got leverage on the contractors.
Yep. So they're mandating.
But wait a second. I only have one property. How am I going to get leverage? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with how do we get leverage? Dalip is going to teach us how to get leverage when we come back. We're going to also talk about our houses less affordable than they were in past decades. And oh, yes, we've got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
What's your plan to beat inflation and protect and build your future wealth? If you're not sure, and if you would like to learn the secret of building wealth by utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you own a luxury home or planning to purchase one? If so, your home may be your largest asset, but your mortgage may also be your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is offering amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates in the 3%, and 15-year rates in the 2s. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com or call me directly. My number is 800-306-1990. Licensed under NMLS 217037. Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions. as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. SLT Home Digest. Are houses less affordable than they were in past decades? That is our subject today. There are many headlines about housing affordability is declining. The headlines are correct. It's less affordable to purchase a home today than it was a year ago. However, it's important to give this trend context. It is less expensive to buy a house today than it was in 2005. What about 1995? What happens if we go all the way back to 1985 or even 1975? Obviously, the price of a home has appreciated dramatically over the last 45 years. So have the prices of milk, bread, and just about every other consumable. Prices rise over time. We know it is inflation. However, when we look at housing prices, price is just one component that makes up the monthly cost of the home. Another key factor is the mortgage rate at the time of purchase. So let's look back at the cost of a home over the last 5 decades and adjust it for inflation by converting that cost to 2021 dollars. Here's the methodology for each data point on the table that we are showing you if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed. So the mortgage amount, take the median sales price at the end of the second quarter of each year as reported by the Fed, and assume that the buyer made a 10% down payment. Mortgage rate, look at the monthly 30-year fixed rate for June of that year as reported by Freddie Mac. Principal and interest, use a mortgage calculator to determine the monthly principal and interest on the loan. Yes, ronismylender.com will give you a great mortgage calculator, ronismylender.com. In principal and interest, we just told you about that one. In 2021 dollars, use an inflation calculator to determine what each payment would be when adjusted for inflation. Green means the homes are less expensive today. Red means they're more expensive. And if you look, well, 2015, they're more expensive. 2010, they're less expensive. They're more expensive. It was more expensive in 2005, 2000, 1995, 1990, 1985, 1980, 1975. Are you getting an idea here? It was more expensive during those times. 2020 and 2010 are the 2 years on those 5-year cycles where it was less expensive than it is today. Now, do you remember 2010? I do. Yeah, and we don't want to go back to that because it was less expensive then because of all the properties that were in distress. So as the chart shows, when adjusted for inflation, there are only 2 times in the last 45 years that it was less expensive to own a home than it is today. Last year and 2010. At every other point, even 1975, it was more expensive to buy a home than it is today. Bottom line, if you're thinking about buying a home, give us a call, 800-306-1990. Get the mortgage calculator, ronismylender.com. It's a gift to you. Great mobile app, goes right on your phone. Best mobile app I've seen. So you might want to take a look at that. Get it. It's a gift from us to you. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. We're going to continue our conversation this morning. Dalip Jaggi, Revive, is in the house. So if you didn't catch before the break, shame on you, but you missed it. So here's the idea is Dalip was getting ready to share with us when I so inconveniently interrupted him for that break. And he was talking about home flippers who may have the opportunity of buying and selling, flipping 5 to 10 properties a year and how they get leverage in that process. Now, they don't get necessarily leverage when they're buying the house because that person only has one house to sell most times. But there's other places that they get leverage. So explain that a little bit to us. What do you mean by leverage and who do they? Leverage is not bad. Right. Leverage is good.
No, leverage is a good thing. I mean, mainly what I was coming into is, what makes a flipper is for when it comes to renovations, they're using the same contractor multiple times throughout the year. So when a contractor knows like, oh, Ron is giving me multiple deals, they can call and kind of ask for like, maybe certain pricing in order to make that flip that much more reasonable, so they can maintain margins.
Think of some price concessions.
Yeah, and in addition to that, like think about time. Like when you're doing a flip, time is everything.
Sure.
How quickly you start to how quickly you finish. Like what takes a homeowner, typical homeowner, 3 months. A professional could get that in weeks because they know what they're doing. They also know
not 12 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But yeah, it really comes down to like having that leverage with a contractor, but that's one aspect of it.
So think about that whole concept then. So basically what you're saying is when you've got that leverage, the contractors know, hey, I better take care of Dalip and Dalip's people because Dalip's going to bring me another deal tomorrow or the next day. And if he's not happy, he's going to go find somebody else.
Exactly. And it's a huge piece of the puzzle, right?
Sure.
And that's actually why here's a good stat, since I know you like stats.
Sure. Got my pen ready.
76% of homeowners that do renovations themselves for the purpose of maximizing the value of their home don't successfully do it. In fact, if you Google "do renovations increase the value of the home?"
Wow,
you'll get an array of information says it doesn't. But that's because you need a couple ingredients in order to actually do this successfully. How flippers do. So one of it is the leverage that you have with the contractor, but and that really taps into what we call production level pricing, because you can't pay like standard retail prices, or you need the best cabinets or whatever. You have your contractor, you're nimble on what finishes to pick. Like if there's like you go to the store and if there's like that black that you wanted in hardware was out of stock, cool, select another one. Like we're doing this like for a flip, and homeowners are too emotionally connected.
That's a big thing right there, is
right?
The emotions, right? You're getting that emotion out of the package, and you're probably going to get more experience into the package, right? Because obviously I am married. That means I get no vote in what the home my house looks like, right?
Yeah, sure.
My wife makes all those decisions. But when you're getting ready to sell, you want to get with all due respect, you want to get her out of the way, right? So that what's actually being done on this work for the renovation purpose is actually that which is going to bring the most value on the sales market.
Well, let me put this in an analogy which might, I think, be helpful for everyone listening.
Right.
Let's say you lived in a home, and for you hated,
which I do,
you hated how many cabinets there were. You're always like, I needed more cabinets, and you're like, I wish I had more cabinets in this place. So when you go to sell it, you may go, this place needs more cabinets. But the ROI on that, when someone steps into this home and they're looking from a lens of purchase, they're not going like, this has a lot of cabinets. I'm going to pay more because of that. They're not looking at it from that perspective.
This one has 17 cabinets, and darn it, I really wanted 18.
Yeah. So those are the things that, like, because it's the same reason why a doctor doesn't, perform surgery like on a family member, is because they're too close to it, that what you may be prescribing isn't from the appropriate lens. So not to say that you as a homeowner shouldn't have no say. It's just like you have your own bias. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's why
the lens you're talking about is all about the return on investment.
So we know, like, paint is like a 3 for 1 on the dollar. Like, kitchens are going to be about 2 to 2.5 on the dollar. So, you can have like.
So explain that, because I'm a simple guy. So 2.5 on the dollar. If I put $10,000 in the kitchen, that means I'm going to get $25,000 more on the sales price on average, give or take.
Yeah, I would just say like that's what you could be kind of like, relatively know that's a high ROI impact item. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, certain ones are high ROI. Like if you have a hole in the roof, you're not going to get 2 for $100. You're expected to sell a home with no holes in the roof. Like that's, you know what I mean? So there's certain things that are not high ROI. There's certain things that are.
So the roof you have to take care of, but you're not going to get a return on that one.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there's something. So what are? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will.
Sure.
So, what are some of the items that you see people think about that they need, that they really don't need, right? That it's not going to give them that. I mean, the roof you have to do because that's health and safety. You're not going to get past an inspection, or an appraisal with that.
Yeah.
But are there items that you hear people say that, I really want to do? I'll give you one. So I like wine. So, I wish I had a bigger wine fridge in the house built in.
Yeah.
Is a wine fridge going to give me a high return on investment?
No, not at all.
Not
at all.
So that's a perfect example,
you
right?
You can stage it, you know what I mean? And maybe want to show that emotional connection.
But it's not something I need to put into the house in order to maximize my sales value.
Yeah, not at all.
Because the next person could be somebody that doesn't drink at all, and the first thing they're going to do is take it out.
The cabinets one was one that happened last week, so that was. But there's other stuff like for example, like we had a gal and she was like, "Man, this stone was imported like from Italy," and it's like nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? Like we got to look at this from an ROI perspective.
So that was Mama's idea that was for her.
Yes,
and she really liked it. And not saying anything, gender specific or putting down anything, but we know that the ladies have control, right? It's just the way it is.
But what you want to do is you want someone to come in here because millennials are buying these homes.
Okay.
And they grew up on HDTV. So they're looking for that HDTV kind of like expectation. You see? So you kind of
got to have a water feature somewhere, right? I mean, what is that? Magnolia Farms or something like that? Is that the one that does all the home flips on TV? I don't know. My wife likes to watch that stuff.
But it's a lot of neutral colors. It's a lot of blank canvas. Like you need someone to come in here and be like,
blank canvas.
What I mean by blank canvas is like you want someone to come in here and see like it's clean, it's neutral. Like you don't want to put like bold colors, anything that's like directed in like one creative direction. Like give them the ability to do that when they move in. You know what I mean? So
I don't get to put my son doesn't get to paint the house in his green and yellow Green Bay Packers.
None of that. Yeah, no, it's grays, white, blacks, pretty much.
Okay, so that's a night. Now the question becomes, why are we doing this? What is it going to get us? What is our mission? What is our goal? And we're going to talk with Dalip about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We've also got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
If you're listening to this program, building personal wealth is a topic you're familiar with, and you probably understand that making money is about creating a high income from a high-paying job or running a business, while building wealth, on the other hand, is about creating a stock of value that goes up over time. You've also probably noticed lately that prices for fuel, groceries, and raw materials are skyrocketing, while your monthly income remains flat. Welcome to Inflation 101. One of the fastest growing wealth building strategies is utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, like the equity in your home. Realty Pro 100 has been helping people like you increase their net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 per year. Now's the time to put your money to work for you and beat inflation. Learn more and start building your wealth by contacting Realty Pro 100. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Receive free information on how the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program works and if it's the right wealth building strategy for you. License DRE 02059058.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@ronsiegelradio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by myfavoritelender.net, myfavoritelender.net. 440 North Citrus Street in Orange. That is the featured home. Bridget Somerville has this property. Realty Pro 100. Charming home in the heart of Orange is ready for you to move in. This immaculate property boasts many upgrades, including hardwood floors, remodeled kitchen, with matching Samsung stainless steel appliances, granite counters, soft closed drawers, LED lighting, and more. Extended countertop overlooks open concept living and dining room with modern chandelier and recessed lighting. Large bathroom is a showpiece. With custom tile floors and beautiful granite top vanity. List price $729,000. That is, let's look at some financing options here on this property. 3.5% down, you're looking at $28.79 a month. If you put 20% down, you're looking at $24.62 a month. Put down 25% with a strategy, $21.99 a month. Yes, you do have to add the property taxes, insurance. No HOA on this one, mortgage insurance, any of those that apply. You have to add them because that's a principal and interest payment only. And for those of you keeping score and you compliance people, I know you're out there. We're looking at a 3.741 APR, 3.055 APR, and 2.839 APR, NMLS 217037. That is the featured home, 440 North Citrus Street. Bridget Somerville has that property right now listed $729,900. More information, call me 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We are continuing our conversation. Dalip Jaggi is in the house. Revive is the name of his company. So we chatted a little bit now about selling your home. We actually even talked about people that want to sell their home for less than the highest possible price. There's people out there. I didn't know it, but I can get schooled any place I go. Learn more all the time. But here's the issue: is we're looking at the idea. We've got leverage now. We're looking to sell our house. Now, think about this. You can either, some people, they may sell their house. It might be a home that they've lived in 30, 40, 50 years. Maybe mom and dad lived in it 30, 40, 50 years. 60 years. We just saw one the other day that was 60 years that the same owners may not be upgraded. So who's going to come in and buy it? Might be somebody that comes in to put sweat equity in there. Okay. Might be, say, home flipper that comes in. Now, if a home flipper comes in to buy the house, what is that telling you as the seller? Well, that they're buying that. They think they're getting a good price. And they think that if they put in a certain number of dollars, which they have experience in, that they're going to get the price they paid, plus the money that they put into it in improvements, plus a profit. Nothing wrong with any of those, right? Well, Dalip has just shared with us how you could do that yourself. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, I'd like to do that, but I don't have the money to do it. What are we going to say then, Dalip? Because you told us in the very opening segment that you have creative financing options.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so with everything that we talked about, the leverage, the expertise, and really giving the homeowners the confidence and the freedom to do this, the money is something that we front for them with no interest and no fees.
Wait, you front the money with no interest and no fees?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, I like that. So I don't have to have any money to do what you're talking about.
No, well, I would say the one thing we base it off on is the equity that you own in the home.
The equity. So if you haven't been using your home as an ATM and you've owned it for 2 years to 60 years,
you're gonna have plenty of equity.
You're gonna probably have equity in your property.
Yeah. It's very rarely that we come across someone that doesn't have equity. They have plenty of equity. So yeah.
Okay, now Dalip, I've known you for what, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah,
you're a nice guy.
Thanks, man.
But I don't know. You're putting out this money just because you like everybody that's listening to Ron Siegel Radio.
Yeah,
there's got to be a way you're going to make money on this.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So let's get into that. So the way we make money is really we're a representation of the contractors. So they're paying us a tune of like 10 to 15% of the contract.
Okay.
Because what we're doing, Ron, is that we're doing a lot of the material sourcing, design, client communication. We're also acting as like an extension of their sales team because we'll be working with you and your client or the homeowner for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks before we even go to the contractor. So we're like, hey, you typically as a contractor would budget for those things.
Sure.
So we're kind of earning that part of the contract.
So when you go to a realtor, and I always recommend using a realtor for your largest transaction in your life.
Yep.
Right? You're going to pay them a fee for doing what they do. If you're looking at a buyer's agent, they get paid a fee for what they do. When you go to a bank or a lender, they get paid a fee for what they do. You don't necessarily see it, but they're getting paid a fee from somewhere in the background.
Right.
When you go to the pool man, right? They're paying a salesman something out there. So you're just like the salesman getting paid that commission or that fee. And you're doing that with the intent that, well, a couple of things. You've got a motivation because being that you're fronting the money, you want to make sure that house sells.
We're investing in this property. And that's why we're like,
now this is different than what I talked about in the early segment, right? When the government talks about investing in infrastructure, that is not an investment. They're not getting their money back. You're not getting your money back. Not an investment. When you're talking about investing, you are going to get your money back. You're going to get a return on your investment.
Exactly. And if the homeowner is not going to get a return on the investment, then we won't do it. So it's one of our like criteria. So there's no coincidence based off that like contractor and the expertise. Our clients on average receive 309% ROI on the dollar that we put in.
309%.
Yeah, it's pretty. The lowest was 47%, and the highest was a weird anomaly, but it happened in San Francisco of 1,400%.
Holy cow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's been.
Now I'm not going to even talk about the 309%. But when you talk about 47%, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, you put $1, you get 47 cents back. Like $1.47 back. Take the principal out.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so
it works when it's predictable.
So basically, think about this: if you, well, I'm going to tell you right now from a cash standpoint, obviously, Dalip's numbers are going to be even better. Right, because you're not putting any cash in.
Yeah.
Right, but if Dalip fronts you $10,000, and you're going to get what $15,000 is going to be your benefit to that
on the lowest
on the low side.
Yeah,
that's a good trade, right? So your property went up $15,000. You've got to pay them back their money, and just because you listen to Ron Siegel Radio, you called Dalip, you're going to get an extra $5,000 on the sale of your property.
Yeah,
that's on the low side.
On the lowest side ever. Yeah.
And now, what if you put in $50,000 in improvement? Now you don't get to decide that you just want $50,000 to put it in because you want to get that money back, right? You have to go through with the process and say, what are the items that are going to be a return on investment?
And if it's not agreed, like our underwriting team would say, hey, like, I know you want to do X and Y and YZ, but that's not going to get the ROI. And we don't want to sacrifice our, what we're getting our clients 309% on average. So, we're not just going to do anything. It has to make sense,
Right. You want it to make sense, and hey, something, you're on the same team in this sense.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're both looking for the same goal is to generate this the benefit in the sales price.
Yeah.
And you actually lose as a company if the property doesn't sell quickly once you've made all these improvements.
I think you just
go back to the time, the desire, right? The time, cost of money of time.
100%. I think you just hit something on the nail. Like, we're on the same team. Like, we're not the general contractor. So we're kind of like the owner's rep in this whole scenario for these homeowners. So we're here to like make sure that the investment is sound. We're here to make sure the contractor is sound. We make sure that the contractor doesn't have any change orders. In fact, we work like an insurance company. The contractor saying you only can charge this much for LVT flowing. So like there's a lot of steps along the way that like you're just in this like process of just representation. So it's kind of junkie for the homeowner.
Sounds like a great deal. If you want more information about this, give me a call, 800-306-1990. Be more than happy to put you in touch with Dalip's team at Revive. We've got them right there. We've got them on speed dial, right? So they'll be able to help you out. Call us 800-306-1990. Again, 800-306-1990. And as always, we ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. If you want to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. We appreciate you. Thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or any comments, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.